Tuscaloosa media station.
WTUG HD2 Northport and W265CG Tuscaloosa. Tide 100.9. WTUG HD2 Northport and W265CG Tuscaloosa. A Town Square media station.
That may be you could forget about it. Touchdown, Alabama.
Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Alabama 1st and 10 on the 12. Again, Houston. He's got a hole. He's over. Alabama touchdown.
I'm just wondering if your listeners know how good a football player you were. I can still see you playing that fullback, knocking those players out of the way. And I believe I could have run behind you.
Martin, I can remember when we came to summer and you playing fullback up there. And I saw you in the weight room and watched you work out in the weight room. If you could pick up, you were strong enough to pick up the whole weight room. I wanted to recruit you, and I running back coach didn't take biggest mistake we ever made.
The Martin Houston Show with national championship winning fullback Martin Houston, giving you 1 hour of intense, hard-hitting analysis from an insider's perspective. It's time for the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports, Tide 100.9, and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Good morning. Welcome into the Martin Houston Show on Tide 100.9 on your radio dial. The Martin Houston Show live on the Martin Houston Live fan page and on YouTube, on Facebook, and at Martin Houston 35 on Twitter. It is a beautiful Monday morning, and we are live and local, ready to get things going. Of course, hopefully you enjoyed that extra hour of sleep you got over the weekend, but 6 o'clock still feels like 6 a.m. on this side of Sunday. So glad that you've chosen to get up and Adam with us and continue to support this station, this show. We got a special treat for you. X's and O's Xavier Houston will be joining us again today. Be 3 days in a row. So looking forward to catching up with him and getting his thoughts as we look at the weekend. Of course, we'll have a review of the weekend overall. We'll have a review of Alabama versus who's that team? LSU. I guess LSU showed up, and Alabama may have been potentially overlooking them, or is it just typical young, immature football team coming off of a bye week and not knowing how to handle their business? We'll talk about that. Is Alabama still the number 2 team in the land? You can have your thoughts and conversations there as we do each and every week. Post Alabama, we'll do our good, our bad, our ugly. And I know that you may say, well, it was just all ugly. Well, if you feel that way, give us a call at 205-342-9904. Also, we got the Hogs coming in. Not the Hogs. We got New Mexico State this week coming up. So it's not as big of a game. But, hey, it may be exactly what the doctor ordered for the Alabama Crimson Tide. So we'll look at that. We'll also look around the SEC of what happened throughout. And then on a little sidebar, a little different note, kind of a shocker, but to me has local implications and an interesting thing that happened while Alabama was playing. Jacksonville State's head coach suddenly resigns. Gross, who I thought had done a pretty good job at Jacksonville State. Of course, Jacksonville State is going to be joining the Conference USA in 2023, and maybe they felt like they need to make a change, but a very, very interesting thought there. So if you want to talk about that, you're welcome. Maybe Saban bring him over and help him get into the big boy ball. We'll see. But all of that and more is up for conversation. But before we get into that, remember that this is the day that the Lord has made. So let's rejoice and be glad in it. Take some time today to notice someone, love someone, serve someone. You make up in your mind to be the difference you want to see in the world today. And as we think about Thanksgiving approaching here in a couple of weeks, be thankful. And this week, be intentional to thank a veteran for serving and being willing to lay down their life so that you and I get to enjoy the great things we call the freedoms of the United States of America. And those freedoms, to me, become more and more valuable each and every day as we look at how things are beginning to happen around our country. So, good morning, X. How you doing, sir?
Good morning. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. Like I said, a lot to get to. Alabama, got away with a win, and I guess in the words of Herm Edwards, you live to play the game. I mean, that's why you don't. Paper has never won a championship. So Alabama struggles with LSU. Was it? And I had at the beginning of last week, Xavier, I talked about, man, LSU has nothing to lose. They're going to come in, they're going to throw it all against the wall, and it could make the game interesting. But by the end of the week, I talked myself out of that being a possibility. And part of that is your fault when you started naming all of the guys that were missing. But
Yeah.
how much of that how much of that was Coach O and that team just playing lights out versus Alabama and maybe a young team that's not very well adept on leadership?
Yeah. I mean, that's why I kind of took it the way that I viewed it. LSU healthy is still a very talented team, but I thought with the number of injuries that they had suffered through this season that it would be a repeat of last year. But as you can see, maybe the inexperience from Alabama was a big factor in the game. But you have to give Coach O and LSU credit. He had those boys ready to play, and they came and they made it a dog fight. And honestly,
Cat fight.
Cat fight. But, I mean, this is what you expect from an Alabama LSU game, honestly. We just overlooked LSU partially because of the injury. But hey, a win's a win, as Coach Saban said, and you take them how you can get them, especially when you're fighting every week for what your end goal is.
All right, let's talk. Like I said, good, bad, and ugly. We'll start off with ugly. May not get to anything else based off of that, but ugly. Let me see. CJ Watson said, "Good defense, bad special teams, ugly old line." All right, so let's start off with what your ugly is. We'll go through several of those and before we switch.
It's hard to argue with the O-line. At times, especially when Dalcourt got hurt, Owens moved to center, and George came in at tackle. This is the offensive line that a lot of us have been, clamoring for. And at times, they looked great. And then at times, they looked absolutely horrible throughout the course of the game. But my ugly truly has to be the play calling.
Hold that thought. Hold that thought. We're gonna do O line first. Joe, are you there?
Yeah, I'm with you, bro.
Yeah. Hey, listen, we thought that Chris Owens should be at center. A lot of people, not saying you necessarily, but did the pressure follow him? Like there wasn't as much pressure from the outside with George. And do you think the O-line play was ugly from a run standpoint? To me, I'd rather Bryce Young be pressured from the outside than the middle. And it seems like Chris Owens is the weak link on this team. Do you possibly see that? Do you agree with that, first of all? And do you see if Dalcourt's okay that Chris Owens may have lost his spot at right tackle?
Oh, Martin, I'm going to have to watch the game over again, to be perfectly honest with you. I watched the game with a big crowd, so I wasn't really to hone in. But I did notice that when George came in, I thought that was really interesting because we've all been, who's the backup right tackle? Well, it's Xavier George, obviously.
Right.
And I thought he played pretty well.
I did too.
Outside of a couple of communication issues. I think you might be onto something, though, because just physically speaking, just as it doesn't seem that Chris Owens might whether it's how high he gets in his stance, whether it's a strength issue, whether it's an athleticism issues. I wonder. I'm with you. I think that maybe physically speaking, he may not be up to snuff to anchor this offensive line. Maybe kicking him out at right tackle was where he could do where he could play the most without having them, I don't want to say damaging the offensive line, but essentially where you can hide him the most. Because we've heard on the show before about how Coach Saban likes to value loyalty and people who stick with a program. So I don't know, maybe it is time that Damian George and Darren Dalcourt can be healthy and take those two spots and shore up the offensive line.
Yeah, because we're gonna have to be better if against Auburn for sure, maybe even Arkansas, and definitely Georgia and into the playoffs if we get past Arkansas and Auburn. I without a doubt, I think that Damian George, I thought he played well. As far as making that guy work up the field to get around him, a little longer corner. But I felt like, man, the pressure up the middle, because they were driving him up the field, it really, really was tough. Let's go ahead and get the break here. We got a couple callers calling in. I'm sure they have some good, bad, and ugly they want to share with us. So we'll go ahead, take a break here. Coming back on the other side, we'll get those callers in. If you want to be a part of the conversation, we're going to do the good, bad, and ugly. So far, the only ugly we've gotten to is the O-line play, but seems to be getting a lot of people on the chat side talking about the play calling, amongst other things. What's your good, bad, and ugly? Give us a call on the Taco Casa hotline at 205-342-9904.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, no active wrecks, and traffic is pretty light as we crank up our Monday morning. Just some minor congestion on McFarland at US 43 and again at Lurleen and Northport. If you see other conditions, give us a call. Townsend Nissan is taking care of business, an amazing selection, low finance rates, and extra rebates. Go see them. I'm Captain Ray.
Need to hire great candidates? You need Indeed, the all-in-one platform for interviewing, screening, and hiring high-quality people. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
You know when you order a new video game, or a golf club, or a blender, and then it arrives at your door, you get a little thrill. Imagine how much more thrilling it is when you order a new car. With Nissan at home, you can shop for the perfect ride and order it without ever having to go anywhere. Sure beats a golf club or a blender. Buy a new car entirely online with Nissan at home. Delivered direct from dealer to driveway. Thrill starts here. Services may vary at participating dealers, subject to applicable law. See dealer for details.
You're always up for some fun with the family, so you order the essentials: a new board game, some baking supplies, and even a new projector for outdoor movie night. And with the Bank of America customized Cash Rewards credit card, you can choose to earn 3% cash back on online shopping, which could increase to up to 5.25% as a preferred rewards member. Rewards which you can put toward an extra treat that everyone will enjoy, like an old-fashioned popcorn machine. Visit bankofamerica.com/more rewarding and apply now. Copyright 2021 Bank of America Corporation.
Hi, welcome to Furniture
Depot. And you, come on in.
Couches are flying off the floor at Cheyenne's furniture store.
Sarah, can you go over to dining sets, please?
She needs more sales associates before shoppers take their seats elsewhere.
Somebody get me a price check on trundle beds.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
Another beautiful day today for West Alabama. The sky sunny. Tuscaloosa's high 71. For tonight, clear with a low at 43. Tomorrow and Wednesday, we stay dry both days with a sunny sky. Highs between 73 and 76. I'm James Spann on the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 39 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Scott Smith at Sophomart Design, doing business for 17 plus years, specializing in graphic design services, commercial printing, promotional products, advertising specialties, and so much more. Basically, any and everything you would need to advertise, promote, and grow your business. Through strong partnerships, strong customer service, and creative ideas, they'll help you market and grow your business. Give Scott a call at 205-292-4680 or email scottis@comcast.net and visit them online at sophmartdesign.com.
Interact with the Martin Houston Show by calling us at 205-342-9904 or tuning into the Martin Houston Show on Facebook.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show. All right, we got good, bad, and ugly from C.J. Watson. Once again, defense good, special teams bad, O-line ugly. Virgil Williams, good defense, bad O-line and special teams, ugly officiating and play call. The offensive play calling has been atrocious for the most part all season. All right. And then Curtis Moore, second. And to add to that, as a 6-year senior, I believe Owens has reached his ceiling. He probably ain't going to improve. Kind of agree with that. All right. Let's bring in Curtis Lewis. Curtis Lewis, you're in with the Martin Houston Show with Xavier Houston of XNO Sports. What's on your mind, sir?
Hey, Martin. The narrative on our team hasn't changed since the beginning of the season. I said at the beginning of the season, Chris Owens should not even be anywhere near that starting offensive line. They shouldn't have been the center. He shouldn't be the right tackle. He is just not good at all at whatever he does. He really needs to sit on the bench and guard the Gatorade. That's
So you're saying he's not a center and he's not a tackle, so he's a guard. But it's the guard to Gatorade.
There you go, guard the Gatorade.
You're bad, Curtis.
Well, and then my bad is Saban. I got good as Bryce, bad as Saban, and ugly as the offensive line. And I put Saban as bad because Saban is the one who keeps allowing these things to happen. We've already said at the beginning of the season also that Saban has this thing for trying to reward good teammates. And that's what Chris Owens is, and that's what Slade Bolden is, and that's what Brian Robinson is. And all these guys, I'm sure, going to be councilmen somewhere in their little town, wherever they were born and raised. But as far as that football field goes, they need to all be sitting over there guarding the Gatorade. Slade, if you make a 3-yard pass to Slade Bolden, all you're going to get is 3 yards if he catches the ball. He has no pop, no running ability ever. And as far as Brian Robinson's a great second back. He's a good change of pace back to get in there and get you those hard yards. But he has no pop either. He can't get you in big games. He's not going to be a dynamic player. Roydell Williams and Trey Sanders, wherever he's at, Trey must have went back home to have a vacation or something. We don't never see Trey Sanders now.
Yeah.
So those guys give us a more chance to be able to actually have a dynamic play coming from the backfield. And at this point here, we're not going to get that as long as we run at Brian Robinson. Change pace guy, great. Power back, great. Put him back there on the 30 or the 40-yard line, yeah, he's going to probably be good for 3 or 4 if he can get that. He's a straight-ahead runner.
Yeah, well, I'll agree 100% with you on Owens. I probably disagree with you a little bit on Brian Robinson in this sense. I think that's the style of running back that they want, and I think but the type of running back that Brian Robinson is in some ways a lot like Derrick Henry, and I'm not saying he's Derrick Henry. He needs blocking, and that may be what you're trying to say is if you're not going to get the O-line blocking, then you need a guy who can break it off the outside. And we don't run him to the edge like we do Roydell. So when blocking isn't happening, Roydell looks more explosive. So if that's what you're saying, I can agree with you on that. But I think they want that. I think that for whatever reason, when Brian's in Curtis, they are going to run him between the tackles. And when they put Chris Owens in at center, there was nothing in the middle, and we didn't adjust to that.
And Owens is never giving us anything in the middle because Owens cannot block.
Right.
I just gave him the problem of he's calling out the blocking scheme, the assignments up there. Now he's got to block. Now he's got to get the ball to the quarterback. He already couldn't block in the beginning at right tackle. Now you're going to give him more responsibilities?
Yeah.
Let's just go ahead and shoot ourselves in the foot and hop all the way back to the bench.
Yeah.
We're the number 2 team in the SEC, let alone the country.
Yeah.
So we got 2 teams coming up that's going to be tough for us to beat at this point. Arkansas and Auburn are not pushovers.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't make any sense. And the coach, I'm not sure how we got Brian O'Brien in there. I don't know if Saban owes his family or somebody money, but O'Brien needs to be sent right back to where the Texans sent him because that play call is ridiculously stupid.
Yeah, hey, I'll let it. I'm gonna let Curtis. And like I said, I'm not totally disagreeing on some of it. Some of it I disagree with based on that, but I'm definitely not going to defend O'Brien's play calling. Xavier, you have anything before I let Curtis go?
Yeah, I mean, if you followed me at all, you know how much I support Brian Robinson. I think he's a great player. But Curtis, let's look at the numbers. Since Ole Miss, 170-something yards and 4 touchdowns. He had a big game at Texas A&M. We just didn't run him inside. Talk about running him inside. We choose not to run him inside the 5, where he's been killing teams all year. And then you turn around, and you look at the Mississippi State game, over 200 total yards, almost 200 total yards of offense. And then same with Tennessee, over 100 yards rushing. Brian has been fine all year. He's not pretty. He's old school. And when you come off of a Najee Harris who jumps over everybody and things like that, Najee truly didn't have a lot of explosive runs unless he jumped over someone. A lot of Najee's carries were 5 yards, 6 yards, and then he had that one play where he leap over the top and then get 40 yards because there was nobody left. But as a runner, Najee wasn't as explosive as people think he was. The longest run of his career was 40 yards. He normally got ran down if he had any more than 40 yards to go. And then you look at a guy, I'm not going to defend Chris Owens at all. He played bad all year. He played bad all year. But then when you look at a guy like Slade Bolden, you have to realize Slade's out there. I don't think Slade's out there to show loyalty. Slade's probably the best blocking wide receiver we have. So I think he's out for the wide receiver. You go back to the Mississippi State game. John Mechie's long touchdown run.
We're not even catching the ball. Who is he blocking?
But we don't throw it to him. He had 3 targets Saturday, and he had 2 catches for 22 yards. Bryce throws it to Mechie is his security blanket. Jameson his big play guy, and then he loves to get the tight ends involved. He doesn't. JoJo, when he's in the slot, doesn't have a ton of catches. We're talking about slot guys having around 25 to 30 catches for the entire season.
Xavier,
Half of what Messi had.
Yeah, I got a couple other calls. Hey, Curtis, you're gonna have to call back so you and Xavier can talk more. I think both of you have something, but I think you both are coming from it. I don't think that Slade Bolden is in there to be a breakaway receiver. I think he's a possession guy, and I think he's a blocker. So I agree with that. So in a sense, you both be a little wrong. But before I let you go, Curtis, you got to give your boy a shout out. Pete Golden may have won a game for Alabama.
No, Pete didn't do nothing.
Come on, Curtis.
Won a game for you, Will. And it wasn't Pete Golden.
What? Oh my goodness! All right, Curtis.
Give the man his flowers.
Give the man his flowers. Oh, quit. How in the world we get to the fourth down? That's 3 or 4 fourth down. They kept busting right up the gut.
That was execution. That wasn't the
linebackers. That is Pete. Pete's not a linebacker. What kind of linebacker is that? Like the Chargers.
Hey, we held him.
Played their best game of the season as a dude.
Hey, Curtis, I got to let you go, but Curtis, come on, man. Hey, Curtis, like I told Xavier last week when he gave a grade, I'm glad that you are not my school teacher. I would never pass your class, man. Hey, but you know what? I give it to you. I give it to you, Curtis. If I did get a passing grade, it would definitely mean that I knew my stuff. So be hard. Give your opinion. Thanks, Curtis. Hey, Robert, you're in. All right, Robert, you're in with the Martin Houston Show. Thanks for your patience. What's on your mind, sir?
Well, like I said, Curtis and I are probably two of your biggest Pete Golden critics.
Yes.
But I got to give Pete Golden his credit. You know, if the defense won the game and he's the coordinator, well, then what do you say?
Would you say this the first time in a while that you felt like Alabama's defense won a game?
Yeah.
I mean,
yes. Yes.
Well, they don't. Well, they haven't had to because the offense has been, first rate, to where the defense just helps along a lot.
Correct.
They don't never had to win a game. We didn't think they were capable of it. We didn't score, 24 plus. We think our defense is capable of holding anybody to 14.
Was this the first time in 3 years we hadn't scored 31 or more points?
34
yeah.
games.
So
yeah, that's the streak too. The end of the streak on us was not. What was 100? What was quite a few games.
34 where we had scored 31 or more, I think, and we had scored. I forgot how far you go back to before you get below 28. But 34.
Yeah, when playing like that, you don't need a defense to win any games for you.
Last time was 28, I think, was the national championship game. 2018 national championship game.
Yeah, so there you go.
We definitely know what is keeping this team from being a championship level team right now, and of course it's the offensive line.
Yeah,
and the offensive play calling. Everything you guys said is absolutely true. Bill O'Brien, I'm sorry, dude. That fourth down play with the Slade Bolden had Jalen Milroe written all over it. Really? And it's not like you haven't run Jalen Milroe in that kind of a play before. He's bigger, he's stronger, he's faster, but you run Slade Bolden.
Yeah.
And I could have made a better play call for you, dude. And all you had to pay me $10,000. I wouldn't need your salary. I would just give me $10,000. I'd call you up a better play than you did.
Hey, let me ask you this: how do you explain our last series?
Offense or defense?
Offense.
I can't.
That was absolutely.
Horrible. That's how I describe it.
Do you realize that on that third down that we rolled him out and did not send the receiver out?
Oh boy, really? That's what it was? I couldn't tell that.
Yeah. When he faked it and when he rolled to the right, there was not the Latu. All Latu would have had to do was take a step and just I mean, I know we were worried about the clock stopping and all of that, but man, I was shocked that there was not even if you told him don't throw it, at least that linebacker that was out there or that corner that made the corner long where he couldn't get around would have had to run with that guy.
Right.
So
right. Give him an option you give him an option to be able to throw. The option to be able to throw. And Sarkisian, there would have been an option to throw. No question about it. Sarkisian is still our offensive coordinator. We are on our way to another national championship, and everybody we stand is Alabama and Georgia and everybody else right now. That's what would be the line right now. Sarkisian was still our offensive coordinator. It is offensive coordinator is holding us back big time, and he doesn't have it. I agree with Curtis on Slade Bolden as well. I agree with you guys. Also, Slade Bolden is a blocker and a possession receiver.
correct.
The thing is, he's not the Renfro type of possession receiver. You're going to have him out there so often. He needs to be on that level or somewhere close. If not, then you need to only have him out there when it's a run play and nothing else.
But then,
not giving us that kind of performance.
But I think I think then you'd have a tendency. So I think part of the reason is the tendency, try to be a tendency breaker. If you just put him out there on like bubble screens or run plays, and then it'll become obvious on film. So I think that's probably why. But who knows? Maybe JoJo hasn't developed as much as they thought, because if you go back and look, there was zero reason at the beginning of this season that you didn't think that JoJo Earl would get more playing time based on Saban and everything he was saying. And so maybe he hasn't developed as much as we thought, and only has a limited grasp on the playbook, so they can't play him as much as they would like. I don't know. I look at him in the same boat as I look at why to your point, why did we not run Jalen Milroe? Why we didn't run him in that obvious situation? I look at some of the obvious things that we don't do that sometimes don't make sense, and that's one of them. I look at why haven't we played Damian George at right tackle, or any of the other 5-star guys versus Chris Owens, and some of it is Saban just loyalty. But I got a question for you before I let you go, Robert. When you look at Bryce Young in this offense, one of the things we haven't talked about much this morning is we've heard that leadership is lacking. It showed up on the road, right? A&M in Florida. We didn't. You could tell we don't have a very good leadership base, especially on offense. But also Bryce Young, this is the first time we've ever seen him come out of a bye week. Now, I've defended Bryce on everything he's done, but he was high. He was a little off, and it wasn't just protection. Yeah. He was a little high early, and I think it took him a while to settle down, and maybe he just rusty coming out of a bye week. I don't know if that's what it was. And then by the time he settled down, he was getting crushed up the middle, and I think he was throwing it maybe a little sooner than he wanted to.
One problem he does have is that there's not enough arc on the deep ball, so the receiver can run underneath it. He throws a little 2-line drive.
He's so accurate that he doesn't. He to me, his accuracy sometimes hurts him, because he put that ball on Mechie, and that could have been a catch. But if he had just like you said, put a little bit more air under it, he would have ran under it.
A lot of his ball, and once the Jameson Williams were the same way too.
Yeah.
So, and with the offensive line the way it is too, this is all the more reason you need a quarterback willing to break down defense with running.
Yeah.
Okay, you got to start running more, Bryce. Otherwise, the team's not going to be able to make it. Right now, the Iron Bowl is in huge doubt. And I don't see us beating Georgia right now unless we make stark improvement. Right now, we cannot beat Georgia.
I don't. I think Auburn's horrible, but but that doesn't matter with the Iron Bowl.
She was horrible.
But
Oh, real quick, we're going to give that nugget. Because the good was that we won the game. The bad was Bill O'Brien's play calling, and the ugly was the offense.
yes, sir. Can't disagree with that. All right, thanks. Coming back on the other side, we'll continue with good, bad, and ugly. We've only got to the ugly so far. There was some good stuff in that game. We'll talk about that. Maybe we'll get maybe we'll get to that. But thanks, Robert. Hey, if you want to be in on the conversation, 205-342-9904, right here on your home for Alabama sports. Speaking of Alabama, alabama1.org. Hey, this week, the transition to the MasterCard from Visa debit card happens this week. If you're a member, please make sure you activate that card on November 10th. If you're not a member, come join a great financial institution where all of your financial needs can be served and met. Great use of tradition as well as great use of technology. We'll give you the service you deserve, and we'll give it to you where you deserve it. That's alabama1.org, alabama1.org.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, no wrecks on a good looking Monday morning. Traffic moving well around town. But if you do see any problems or any conditions folks need to hear about, just give us a call. 205-886-8886. Townsend Nissan is taking care of business. An amazing selection, low finance rates, and extra rebates. Go see them. I'm Captain Ray.
Hello, this is Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show, and I want to tell you about one of our great sponsors, Overflow Express Wash. Their mission is to provide great customer service with a showroom clean car and an exceptional customer service experience. They have the basic car wash that starts at $7, but you need to check out the premium wash packages, which start as low as $12 and go up to $20. They also have a membership wash club that you can get for starting at $23.99, going up to $39.99. In other words, just double the regular premium package, drop a penny, and you can be one of the great members of Overflow Express Wash. My family and I keep our cars looking good inside and out by using Overflow Express Wash. They're located on Skyland Boulevard right next door to Alabama 1, or you can find them online at overflowexpresswash.com. Andy Phillips and his team look forward to making you a part of their team.
Join Randy Smalley and me, Captain Ray, for the Randy and Ray football forecast, where we pick the games against the spread. It's this Friday night at 11 following the high school scoreboard show on Tide 100.9. Brought to you by Randy Smalley, Floor and Tide.
Get in zone, AutoZone. Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? So your headlights are getting dim? With the seasons changing, now's a great time to change them. Upgrading your headlights can ensure you'll be safe and ready to handle darkness and fog. Oh, and we recommend replacing in pairs. That way you won't have uneven lighting over time. You can get all of your lighting needs fast with our next day delivery and free same-day store pickup. Getting the job done just got easy. Get in zone, AutoZone. Restrictions and details at AutoZone.com.
Nick Saban calls it the process. John Maxwell said that everything rises and falls on it. And Coach Wooden said it's what you learn after you think you know it all that makes the difference. What am I talking about? Leadership and personal development. Is your organization, your school, your church, your family, are they receiving the proper level of leadership development and personal development? If not, the Empowerment Center for Leadership and Mentoring can help you with that. We have our pep talks, which is a 1 to 1.5 hour lunch and learn, which we can customize to meet your needs, or we have some topics that we present that we know can help your organization. And if you're looking for one-on-one mentoring and coaching, we can also assist you with that. Visit peptalks35.com. That's peptalks35.com, or send an email to martin@martinhouston.org. That's the Empowerment Center for Leadership and Mentoring.
Welcome back to the Martin Houston Show, the sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team, on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show on Tide 100.9. Glad to be with you on this Monday edition of the Martin Houston Show. Got X's and O's, Xavier Houston joining us on Monday, talking good, bad, and ugly. A lot of comments, Xavier, over on this side on the chat box. Guys talking about Will Anderson, how he's a beast, how he took care of his business. That he was just a man possessed. He delivered. Can't argue with that. Pete Golding for president, according to Curtis Lewis. Virgil Williams saying, we as fans always see the bad plays and expound on those and totally forget the good ones. I've been hard on defense all year, but Saturday as a whole, they played a good game. Still had a couple bonehead breakdowns, but all in all, it was good. That's a true statement. And even I'll say even early on, you had the fake punt. The coaches were ready. They put us in punt safe. Players just didn't execute. I mean, and then of course they went on down to score, and I think the fact that they scored first kind of changed momentum a little bit. But overall, let me see. We got a new comment here from Charles Carter, right tackle. We should have played Damian George or J.C. Latham from the start of the season. They would have developed by now, and no way they would have played as bad as Owens. Also, we've often used the right tackle position to groom a guy for left tackle later in his career. Next year, we'll have inexperienced players at both positions. Not a good situation. So Charles Carter already looking ahead, Xavier, into 2022 as far as the O-line. But O-line is just, we've talked about that. Dalcourt, better than we thought. Better than we thought, I guess. Real quick, anything from a bad standpoint or a good standpoint, anything you want to bring out?
The bad was, you could say the special teams. Bad snap, bad handling. It cost us a total of 4 points, which would have maybe changed the momentum a little bit, getting the field goal early, the extra point to keep it, even if we still miss the field goal, the extra point to make it a 7-point game. So you're not sitting there, having heart palpitations, trying to figure out if LSU scores, can we come back down and score?
Yeah.
So I think those plays changed the game a little bit. For the good, you got to give it to the defense. You got to give it to Pete Golding. This is the type of performance that we say we've been waiting from him since he's been the coordinator. It's either been the offense has been able to score more points for the most time, or the team we just outscored teams. It didn't really matter what the defense did a lot of the time, with a couple short fallings over the span of time. But yeah, I think Harris and Toto as a duo played their best game of the season. Harris with the sack, Toto with the strip fumble.
Yeah.
I think the defense played great as a whole. We saw Kool-Aid and Kent Street, and that showed to me there's some good things coming.
Yeah, and I'll say this real quick, and then we'll get to Chuck Hunt. Real quick on the defense, I will say this: they scored twice. But neither one of those scores in a traditional game may not have happened if you didn't have a lame duck coach who had nothing to lose. They got 2 fourth downs that they probably wouldn't necessarily gone for if the coach was coaching for his life instead of nothing to lose, and they probably wouldn't have ran that fake punt, which led to it. But that's part of the game. But I just still wanted to point those things out, that both of their scoring drives had plays that traditionally, according to the analytics, they would not have taken those chances. Chuck, you're in with the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, sir?
Good morning, father and son. For the downside, man, I watched that game. That was a nail biter. Watching it, I was thinking about. I bet Pete Golden's playing today. Boy, it's the pressure off of me. And but I put the you
Yeah.
over the offensive line.
Pete's probably listening to the radio today.
You know what? I look at that offensive line, and back early, the first game of the season they played Miami. Things were, you kind of had some things that were just kind of cover ups. And we don't have them, but it started really coming out in some of those games. Started seeing that you wanted to try to keep it, try to disguise being reloading. I mean, a rebuilding team, I meant to say. You want to disguise the rebuilding, because the fact that you're the University of Alabama. But it started coming out, and I started seeing those games, and I started seeing, you start seeing where there is rebuilding in there, and I started, it showed in the before the Texas A&M game. And you just start seeing it each game, and then I was looking at the other night, and I started seeing him getting back in the backfield on Bryce Young with LSU blitzing like that. That would not have been it's been that team he had before then.
Yeah,
not got back there like that, because let's face it, when LSU won that national championship, they didn't have no great defense. Even Dave Aranda as defense coordinator. You all knew how to block them, and I started saying that Saturday night. No, that's not the Alabama I know on the offensive line.
Chuck and Chuck, you said something. I'm gonna have to get the break here, but you said something that no one is really talking about. You just said it. LSU didn't have a great defense in 2019 or whatever year they won it. But yet we were able to block them. Is it Marrone, Doug Marrone? Should we be calling his name out? Is the play calling limited potentially by what we can execute on the O-line? Because I'm telling you, if you blitz us, it's like we have no ability to communicate and change. If you come straight at us, we can block you. One-on-one, man, we can block pretty good. But if you throw any type of wrinkle, blitzing or stunting or looping or any of that, we get confused. And that is on both execution and play calling, but it starts with the coach. I got to go, but you got anything else for me?
All right. That's all I just wanted to talk about. When I was watching the game, I watched Eli Gold. Watched him in the boot camp. I always had to watch that and watch the game. That's exciting to watch.
Yes, sir. Well, Chuck, that you pointed out something that no one's talked about as far as the O-line coach. We if you want to get us, send some blitzes and loops and stunts. So we'll see if that's what Arkansas. Of course, we got New Mexico State this week. Should be able to take care of that. But Arkansas and Auburn have the players that can cause some havoc as well. So we'll be looking for that. Thanks, Chuck.
All right, you all take care.
All right. LA from Houston, hold on. We'll get you on the other side of the break, coming out of the break. Thanks for being a part of the program. This is the Martin Houston Show, and we're able to do it each and every week. And we'll be back because of great folks like Alabama One Insurance. The 2-minute warning up next.
Tide 100.9 traffic. From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, no wrecks on a good-looking Monday morning. Traffic moving well around town, but if you do see any problems or any conditions folks need to hear about, just give us a call, 205-886-8886. Townsend Nissan is taking care of business, an amazing selection, low finance rates, and extra rebates. Go see them. I'm Captain Ray.
Here's what's trending on the Tuscaloosa thread. Good Monday morning. University of Alabama police are investigating an on-camp early yesterday morning. An individual was beaten but did not receive serious injuries. 2 suspects were reported leaving the scene of the incident on West 4th Street and Stadium Drive nearby Denny Stadium, and not long after the end of the Alabama football game. Both were black males, according to police reports. Their identities are still being sought by authorities. Click TuscaloosaThread.com for more local news, sports, and weather. It's free. I'm Don Hart.
Hello, this is Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show, and I want to tell you about Tuscaloosa Custom Carving. If you're looking for a way to add value to your home make your flower beds pop, make your landscaping stand out from your neighbors, then Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing can help you do just that. They have numerous styles, but they feature the Moroccan Stone Curb series, which includes 4 great styles and unlimited color choices. That's Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing. They are the one that can help you stand out from your neighbors. Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing, 205-331-6823. You may also find yourself with the need for a custom size stone or custom shaped stone. Then Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing can help with that as well. Paul Fuller and his team are waiting on your call right now for that free quote. And if you tell them that Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show told you to stop by, you'll get a big discount. So call Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing at 205-331-6823 or visit them online at Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing, LLC.
Need to hire great candidates? You need Indeed, the all-in-one platform for interviewing, screening, and hiring high-quality people. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Don't miss a play at the Sportsbook at Pearl River Resort. Your front row seat to all the action. Place bets on all professional and most college sports at the counter, kiosk, or on your phone. Then catch the game on one of our 20 big screens from the comfort of the newly remodeled Timeout Lounge. Plus, the PRR Sports app gives you access to live, in-play sports betting. Sportsbook at Pearl River Resort. Be more than a fan. Be a player. Must be 21.
It takes 2 vaccines to help protect you this season, the flu and COVID-19. And now you can get both shots at the same visit. Learn more at cdc.gov/vaccines.
The sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team. The Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show. The Alabama One Insurance 2-minute warning is upon us. Alabama One Insurance, alabamaoneinsurance.com. Review, reduce, and relax. We'll review your policy, reduce your premium, and you can relax knowing that you are properly and fully covered. That's Alabama One Insurance. Click or call. You can go to alabamaoneinsurance.com and click and get a quote there. Request a quote there, or you can call us at 205-342-0112. All right, we got LA from Houston. First-time caller, so welcome into the program, LA. And I'm not going to hold it against you. The note said that you were friends with Larry Miller. What's up, man? How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing fantastic, Martin. I could tell you a lot of things about Larry, but
hold it. Don't do that. Don't do. We're trying to just get Alabama's good, bad, and ugly, not Larry's. Not just. So what's on you?
Hey, Martin. With all due respect to all of your fans and listeners, and your son of X's and O's.
Yes.
I've been watching Bama football since the Johnny Musso days. And what I've been watching with this team this year especially, there's nothing wrong with Bill O'Brien. I don't want your fans to get hurt behind that. The problem is the old line. You can have Tom Brady. You can have Manning back there quarterbacking. You can call them and play you want. It's not going to happen. I have never seen a Bama team, I'm not just saying the O-line, so soft, with no physicality whatsoever besides Will Anderson. It is really embarrassing. Let's put this in perspective. LSU had 8 starters out on defense. We're talking about Alabama. We're not talking about Ole Miss. We're not talking about Arkansas. We're talking about the Bama standard. Does any of your listeners know anything about the Bama standard? Bama standard starts with the defense. Pete Golden, in my opinion, he has destroyed the Bama standard. The safeties, Martin, I don't even really watch Bama when they're on defense. It is so frustrating to me because of what I'm used to watching from the Bama standard. I'm not talking. Look, we have 4 and 5 stars. We're not talking about teams that have 2 and 3 stars. I look at these safeties, Helen, Battle, Wright, Joe. Those guys are always lost. And Joe, and when Nick Saban said that when Armour Davis went out and they had to put Joe in, that was his best option, I wanted to throw who loses focus when the game is on the line. You remember the Florida game when he lines up offside at the goal line and we recovered a fumble?
Yeah, I remember.
Turn back on the Tennessee receiver that he knows we go fast. I don't understand. And to me, Kool-Aid played pretty well in that game Saturday. Josh Jones, Battle, Helen, that is their weakness. Those guys, they can't cover, they can't tackle. I've never seen safeties that don't come up with any type of physicality.
Hey, LA, let me ask you this. Is this a result? Someone asked me this, and you may agree with it, and I know you may have to call back to dig deeper on this, but someone asked me, they said, is this a result of Alabama is a much faster team, much more athletic team, but we're missing Cochran in terms of getting the toughness? And that the new strength and conditioning coaches are about velocity and speed and agility, but they're not about physicality. Any thoughts on that real quick?
But I miss that physicality. I can tell you that. When you look at Georgia's defense, they all about physicality.
Yep.
And they remind me of what Bama used to be.
Oh, hey, LA, I told someone Kirby Smart has figured out how to get 2011 players and 13 players in 2021. That's big, nasty, and strong, and can run like the guys of today. Go ahead, real quick.
Before Pete Golden needs to go. I'm sorry. There's too much confusion, no physicality. They're lost on every play. And don't forget, Bryce Young, before I go, Bryce Young deserves a Heisman. Playing behind that trash old line. He reminds me of back in the Archie Manning days. As good as he was, you couldn't tell because his old line was so bad.
Yeah. Well, LA, come on, baby. Come back with it next. Come back with it again. We appreciate you calling, first time caller. Hey, that's Xavier Houston. I'm Martin Houston. This is the Martin Houston Show with X's and O's, Xavier Houston. Hey, we'll be back on tomorrow. Thanks for being a part of the program. Remember this, trust in the Lord always, lean not your own understanding, in all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. Roll Tide.
Thank you for listening to the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports.
Have a great day, Joe.
Tide 100.9 app. Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, no wrecks and a good-looking Monday morning.